treatise resolving doubts about the Pure Land. Translator's Introduction. Master Yinguang, 1861–1947, is one of the four most influential Buddhist monks in modern Chinese history, along with the modernizer and reformer Taishu, 1890–1947, the monastic precepts Master Hongyi, 1880–1942, and the meditation master Suyin, 1840–1959. During a period when some who were aligned with the Chan school attacked Pure Land Buddhist teachings as vulgar, shallow, and suited only to the needs of the uneducated, superstitious classes, Yinguang worked to define the tradition and its practices on a solid theoretical basis. His classical education, erudition, wide knowledge of Buddhist scriptures, and simple devotion earned him a following throughout the Chinese Buddhist world. Upon his death, he was widely acclaimed as the 13th Patriarch, Zhu, of the Pure Land School. The arguments presented in this treatise, which takes the form of a debate between Yinguang and an unnamed Chan monk, occur in the context of two separate and competing streams of Pure Land thought. The first, called Consciousness Only Pure Land, Weishi Jingtu, or Mind Only Pure Land, took its cue from the Vimalakirtanardesa Sutra, which teaches that the land in which a Buddha dwells is innately pure. Any apparent impurity in it arises from the deluded mind of the observer. Thus, when the disciple Sariputra wonders why the realm of his master, Sakyamuni Buddha, seems so impure, the Buddha grants him the ability to see the world as a Buddha sees it, where all appears pure and dazzling in all directions. As the Buddha explains, just so, Sariputra, living beings born in the same Buddha field see the splendor of the virtues of the Buddha fields of the Buddhas, according to their own degrees of purity. The point of this, as critics of superstitious and vulgar practitioners of Pure Land Buddhism never failed to point out, is that the Pure Land cannot be localized at all, nor ought it to be conceived of as a place outside this impure world. Rather, purification of one's mind through meditative practice brings about the purification of this present world. Purity is ultimately in the mind of the beholder. Yinguang represented the other side of this debate, in postulating a Pure Land that was outside of the present impure world, which could be localized to the west of the present world, and which could not be reduced to a psychological state or fable. He belonged to the tradition referred to as Western Pure Land, Zifeng Jingtu, or Other Direction Pure Land, Tafang Jingtu. In this capacity, he strove against his unnamed adversary's strategy, a venerable one in Chinese Buddhist history, of defining Pure Land practice in Chan terms, and of dismissing a literalist interpretation of the Pure Land as ignorant and dualistic. In fighting this view, Yinguang refers to scriptures that describe even the most realized bodhisattvas seeking rebirth in Amitabha Buddha's Pure Land in the West, reinterprets Yongming Yanshu's 904–975 famous fourfold relation of Chan and Pure Land, and even quotes famous Chan masters and patriarchs to show that they were not quite as anti-Pure Land as they might have sometimes appeared to be. In the course of the debate, he gradually wears down his opponent, and in the end the Chan follower submits to Yinguang as his teacher and vows to seek rebirth himself in the Pure Land. The text is of interest not only because of Yinguang's eminence within the history of Pure Land Buddhism in China as a popularizer and author, but also because it straddles the divide between pre-modern and modern Buddhist concerns in China. This may well be the last text ever to debate The positions of Western Pure Land versus Other Direction Pure Land, since at the time of its publication Taishu was proclaiming his new ideas about Buddhism for human life, Rensheng Fojiao, a set of ideas about finding a place for Buddhism in the midst of human affairs rather than in the worlds of gods or in the afterlife. Taishu's ideas led eventually to the articulation of the new ideal of creating a pure land in the human realm, Renjian Jingtu. In addition, within the text Yinguang takes on a venerable topic of Buddhist textuality, the authenticity of various versions of the Avatamsaka Sutra, Huayan Jing. While past authors had been able to assert the text's scriptural status and cited it as an authority, Yinguang had to cope with rather modern textual critical issues and to address the text's redaction history, albeit reluctantly. Even an avowed traditionalist had to at least acknowledge and address the concerns of modernity. At this point in time, the translation that follows is based on Yinguang's text, the Treatise Resolving Doubts About the Pure Land, Jingtu Juyi Lun. In the collected works of Great Master Yinguang, Yinguang Dashi Quanji, compiled and edited by Shi Guangding, Taipei Fojiao Chubanshi 1991, Volume 1, pp. 357–371. My reading of the text was assisted by an annotated version prepared by the monk Chansheng, which appears in the same collection. Under the title, Patriarch Yinguang's Treatise Resolving Doubts About the Pure Land with Light Annotations, Yinguang Zhu Jingtu Juyi Lun Qinjie Volume 6, pp. 81–194.